guys, Matt here at the bike shop in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. I'm about to do some trike repairs on my Recumbent trike. Cycling around the world, I've already finished China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, back to China, Vietnam, Laos, back to Vietnam, on my way through Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Australia, and a host of other countries. And along the way I take little stops, I gather some new stuff, I make upgrades and things like this. And today we're doing some pretty interesting upgrades. This specific video is about a replacement to a headrest. Those of you that don't know, trikes have a very comfortable seat that we can sit down and you can even rest your head back on the headrest. The headrest that I have is actually from a ergo mesh seat from HP Velotechnic, the company that makes the trike. And it's a very nice headrest. Over the years it's gotten a little worn. The foam on the inside has degraded a little bit. As you can see, it's got a little sun over time, and that sun has sort of degraded the material inside. And so I called my friends at TerraCycle, that's TerraCycle in Oregon in the USA, and they said, we got the perfect solution for you. It's a beautiful headrest. It's a very, very nice foam headrest. They've embroidered my logo on the pad that actually removes. And so this is going to sit right behind my head, right there. I'm going to be able to relax. How's it going?
Not too bad, dude.
Good.
Good to see you, man.
So we're going to replace the headrest first. Then we're going to move on and do some other things. This is going to be the ultimate restful ride when I finish replacing this headrest. Okay, so amidst my mess, we have the Finer Recliner headrest mount. So on this, it actually allows you to shift the headrest left and right and then turn it up and down based on this pole. And then this is what attaches to the back of the seat. For the seat that I actually have this tube that comes across right here. It'll allow me to put the bracket right there, and then my headrest will be very easily mounted onto the back of the seat. Pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be quite nice. I'm kind of excited. First things first is let's remove the old headrest. The one from HP Velotechnic wasn't that bad, actually. It was adjustable up and down, and it hooked onto the back seat very securely in like a clamp style here. The other one has more cushion, and I think it will be fun to try out. And the people at TerraCycle are good friends, and they treat me right all the time. So. Okay, so that's going to come out. I wonder if I could use this for something else down the road. It is quite good quality. All right. Okay, so the Finer Recliner attachment mounts differently than the HP Velotechnic bracket. And it mounts like so. And then this can move up and down based on how you want the tilt for your headrest. It also has this. Is the tube that holds the headrest bar, and this goes up and down based on how high or low you want your headrest as well. So this mounts. Before I tighten it down too hard, I should. All right, next up, you just put the headrest on to this bar here, and it'll just, based on how high you want it. You could also, what's kind of interesting, I just realized, is that you could put this bracket to one side or that side and actually have the headrest coming off like that way, or have the headrest coming off that way, or have the headrest coming off the center. I'm trying to think about how that would be beneficial. I think that would be beneficial if you're using maybe a trunk and you want to have the area of the trunk push right up against the seat, and you don't want to have this bracket here, which I might actually need because my trunk case might bump up against this bracket. I'm just gonna get it set up the way that I think I'd like it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so basically it's all mounted together. So you've got articulating up and down, so you can adjust based on if you want low and pushing up on the back of your head. If you want it more in the center of your head, you might want to tilt it like this. You also want to pull it back a little bit so that it's pushing at the right point of your head. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could have the headrest over here and the bracket over here, you know, or vice versa, or we'll have it the way I have it set up, which is in the middle. If you want to, you can raise it or lower it. Before I get a feel for it, I'm actually going to put the trunk on and see if the trunk is going to conflict with the bracket. So here's my trunk, and I see it's touching right now, actually, quite a bit. Jeez, that's going to be a problem. If I shift my trunk backwards, it's actually going to cover this pole here that I use to actually lift up the trike. The trunk will actually cover this area, which I like to leave open if I want to lift the trike up a set of stairs or something. I'll tell you something I love about TerraCycle, and I always say Pat because Pat owns TerraCycle, but the whole crew there is awesome. Hello everybody over there at TerraCycle. Thank you so much for your help over all the years of dealing with my stupidity and my ignorance and my desires for your amazing hardware. I'll tell you what, when Pat sends me something, he sends me something that is designed to solve problems in a manner of different ways. So he sent me originally this bracket, which it has like a quick release. It allows me to adjust things really quickly. But the profile for this stood so far back from my seat that it actually got in the way of my trunk when I put my trunk here. So what TerraCycle does is they send me this, but they also send me a number of other methods for attaching the headrest to the back of my seat. So I use method number 2, and it works perfectly. So instead of using this bracket, which actually moves the whole setup to the rear, which impedes the trunk bag that I have here, I'm gonna not use this, and instead I'm gonna go directly off this rear pole on the ergo mesh seat and go directly up from there. So it will save me this much distance and actually give me a lower profile than the original bracket that was included from HP. So I'm gonna tighten this down and situate the headrest the way that I want it, and we'll see if that's better. I think it's perfect. This might be cool. Hey, he's got some beer. Is beer o'clock already? I have an interesting solution. I'm gonna work on this bracket, and I'll catch up with you in a few minutes and show you my new idea. All right guys, so I have finished with my headrest. It turned into a little bit more than a headrest, and let me show you what I ended up doing. Now, the pole that they sent me actually was a little bit too long, so I cut off about this much meat from the pole that they sent me, and now it's perfect. It sits right behind my neck. It's great, and if you look, this pole here is quite long. And so I used the extra real estate to move to the right and put one of their nice bottle holders. So now I have a bottle holder right behind my head. You might think that thing's gonna hit your shoulder. You're gonna have some problems on the ride. Well, look at that. That's my buddy. That's gonna be my little buddy. I might give my bottle, actually that's not mine, that's Johan's, but eventually I'm gonna get a bottle and I'm gonna give him a name because he's gonna sit on my shoulder like a parrot. I could put a beak on him or something. like give him a voice. Actually, I could reach with this hand. Yeah. Much better.
It's much better, actually.
This is a much better to use this hand. And then I could just grab it, drink, go back. You know, my other bottle holder is way, way up here. So when I'm riding, I actually have to reach forward and grab it. But now, to be able to have a bottle holder right here, ooh, that is nice. Almost up is better when you're reaching over. Because I'm holding the camera. Ordinarily, I was just testing it this way. And that's a little bit awkward. But using the other hand, that's quite good. Now the ergo mesh pad is right behind my neck, underneath my ears, at a perfect position to give me a little relaxation if I want to tip my head back. A lot of times when you're riding a recumbent, you don't put your head back all the time. You kind of sit more up. It's only when you're really tired and you want to relax, you put your head back. But now it feels really nice. The great thing about these Finer Recliners is that they're curved. So it kind of curves around the back of your head, almost hugs your ears a little bit. It's really, really nice. So there we go. The TerraCycle Finer Recliner headrest and a bottle holder. The bottle holder bracket is actually from TerraCycle. You can probably ask them for it and get it, but the headrest does not come with the bracket for the bottle holder. So check them out. I'll leave links in the description if you want to buy a Finer Recliner headrest. I would recommend it. They make them for all sorts of seats, so if you're not using an HP Velotechnic, just let them know, and they will set you up with the proper system to set up the proper headrest for your trike.